Hey guys, so I've been supposed to make this video literally for over a month and I'm kind of a procrastinator, so my bad. Um, this video is going to be about my trip to Amsterdam that I took solo dolo, and a lot of people had questions. A lot of people were like worried. They're like, you could get sex trafficked, be careful. So, I'm just making this to just kind of give some background on it for a lot of the people that asked, because a lot of people did ask about it. Um, so if you care, stick around. I have no editing skills, so that is a segue to watching it or not watching it. So I traveled alone. This was my first time traveling out of the country alone. This was like something that I actually did kind of spur of the moment. I just found a good deal on a flight and I just booked it. Like, I probably booked my flight like 2-3 weeks before I left. Like, I literally just did it like, oh, this is cheap. Books flight. I booked my flight. My flight was like $300, $350 after tax. I literally just booked it on a whim. I went alone. I stayed in a hotel, and I got a good deal on my hotel. And I use a site that is similar to Hopper. I did not use Hopper. I did use Hopper to shop for flights, but I did not use Hopper to book my flight. And for my hotel, I use a site called Hotel Tonight. I love them. I use them all the time whenever I travel pretty much anywhere. I didn't want to stay at a hostel because I was not super comfortable with that. And I didn't want to Airbnb because this is not like a place that I know. There was a chance there could be a language barrier. I didn't want to have that issue staying at an Airbnb and then like now I'm in a strange person's house and I'm by myself and this person knows that I'm here by myself. Like, I wasn't super worried about my safety, and during the time that I was there I was also not worried about my safety, but I didn't want to be worried about my safety, so I was fine. Also, while I was out there and I was traveling, I had access to my phone. My service provider, who is Verizon, has a deal where certain countries you can have like data on your phone. You can use your data or you can use your phone for like a limited price, like a set price, instead of using your phone and then getting all these crazy international fees. So for me, that price was $10 a day. I felt like it was worth it. I was able to use my maps. I was able to text people. I was able to drop pins. Like, oh, okay, like, so one day in particular, I went to go eat by myself at a place that was pretty far from my hotel, and I just dropped a pin. Like, hey, I'm here. I was able to FaceTime people while I was out. Like, my data worked. Like, it worked all the way. It wasn't a question about it, whether it worked or not. Literally, it was fine. So while I was there, one thing that I did do was eat. Because if you know me from social media, from Facebook, or even personally, like, I live for food. Food is life, and food gives you life. You need fuel. You know what I'm saying? You need fuel to live. And I'm here for that. And I like for the fuel to also be delicious. Guilty. So I did eat a lot of food there. I did look at some buildings. I'm a huge fan of architecture. I have no architectural skill. I can't draw. I'm not good at math. Those are things that I feel like architects are, those are like necessary skills to be an architect. I have none of them. But I like buildings that look nice and are practical. So I absolutely love the architecture there. If you saw any of the pictures that I posted, most of them were buildings. The buildings had a lot of texture. They had some really great colors. They had a lot of practicality as well. Like, for the weather there, it seemed very cold. It rained every single day that I was there, which I was mentally prepared for. I already knew that it was rainy, so that was fine. But I wanted to go around, so certain stuff, like, I did use the train there. I did travel on their train, on the tram, which is like the trolley, depending on where you're from. I did ride the bus there. Um, I lived in New York for quite some time, and if you can travel in the city, like in New York, you can literally travel anywhere. You look at the map, you need to go here. You figure out where your connection is. It's literally, I didn't find it to be very difficult. I didn't really go to the outskirts of the city. I did stay in very high tourist areas. Except for at one point when I was in a very residential area, I went out to eat with someone that I know from Instagram that didn't murder or kill me. So, and I didn't get catfished. So that was also nice. Um, but like we went to go eat, they went to the red light district with me. I didn't want to do that alone. They also suggested that it was not safe for me to do alone. So that was great. I was pleased about that. Had a good time. Food was delicious. I ate food that was local to Amsterdam. I drank, I'm a gin drinker. I drank gin that was local to Amsterdam. Same thing with wine. Like, although I have a preference, if I go somewhere, I want to eat or drink what's local to there. Like, I can get whatever at home. I want to get the good stuff that I may not be able to get again. I want to get those things while I'm there. So the biggest question that a lot of people have was cost. During the time that I booked this flight, I was actually unemployed. I had technically no source of income. I was receiving unemployment, and that is basically what I used to travel. That is how people with no jobs travel. That's the secret. We don't all take advantage of people. Because that's what a lot of people have said, like, oh, how do people with no jobs do all this work? Like, because now it's a point where you have money but don't have work. So whereas like people are constantly going to work and they're like, oh, I wish I could just take this time off, or they're making buku dollars but they don't have time to be off of work to vacation. I literally had an excess amount of time and not completely liquid cash. Like, I was being supported. I had some people that were near and dear to me that supported me. Like, as far as some of my other bills, I still paid a portion of my bills with my unemployment. That's what unemployment is for you to pay your bills. But I did also take advantage and travel. I wouldn't have been able to do that if, I wasn't supported. So, but as far as cost, so my flight was $350 round trip. I flew out of JFK. I live in Philly, so that $350 plus the $25 it took for me to get from here to the airport, that was like the bus to the train, $25 between going there and coming back. My hotel was $350 as well for 4 nights. I stayed at the Cubic Hotel, which I booked through Hotel.com. This video is not sponsored, but if Hotel.com wants to sponsor me, I'm about it. Or any other travel site for that matter, I'm about it. I love to travel. I did get euros before I left. I also used my card over there. The exchange rate on my credit card was not terrible. It was like 3%, which obviously, like, it was not that crazy to me. My euros I got at my bank, which is local to here. I probably spent money on food, probably spent like between $150 to $200 on food and other miscellaneous things like my little train pass and everything like that. I would say maybe another $250. So overall, my whole entire trip was under $1,200. But also keep in mind that $1,200 was not paid up front. It wasn't like I was like, here is money all at once, enjoy. It was over the span of about a month. From the time that I booked my flight, probably 2 weeks later I booked my hotel. I got my euros the week that I left. And then whatever money I spent there, I used my credit card so that I knew that I would be protected. I had intended to use one particular card, and then I got there and the card did not work. So luckily for me, I packed another card because I didn't want to go out there with all of my debit cards and any credit cards that I had for fear of losing them, for fear of them being hacked or anything like that. So I only took 2 credit cards. I didn't even take a debit card. And one of my credit cards that I had the largest available balance on did not work. So, like, literally, I was at the airport trying to buy a pass to get on the train to my hotel, and my card was not working. And I was, like, having a heart attack. But I was fine. Walked it off. But yeah, the way that my flight was actually so cheap was I did not pay for any checked bags. I carried 1 bag. This is the bag that I carried. It is a backpack. This is my pen. My pen is from Happy Monster. It's like a black and Hispanic Sailor Moon. I love it. But this is my bag. Literally not a super huge bag. This is not like a good picture of it, but literally not a super huge bag. Has an open space in the back. I did take a tablet. For some of you that know, I am a student, so I did have homework to do. I literally have finals to do, actually, because this was finals for some of my classes, not for all of them, but for some of them. So I did have to take a portion of time to do homework. Most of it I just tried to do in advance before I traveled. So I carried this bag, and I carried this as a purse when I will go out. It's really dingy, but I love it. I've had this bag for several years, but it has a lot of pockets, and it's wide. It's like a very slim messenger bag, but it's like wide enough. Like, I put bottles of water in here. It's comfortable. The strap is really thick. I literally love this bag. So I carried those 2 bags. That bag was folded up inside my backpack with about 5 days worth of clothes. And that helped me to shave down my cost as well, because then I didn't have to pay $30, $40 to pack a bag. I packed 1 bag. I got off the plane, flew through customs, going and coming. So that was amazing. Would I do it again? I would definitely do it again, like without a doubt. I definitely recommend that more people travel solo. The benefit of traveling solo for me was the fact that I could do whatever I want. If I want to lay up in the bed till noon, that's fine. Like, some people are morning people. I'm not a morning person. But some days I did want to get up earlier. Like, I did want to go to breakfast. I did want to go to brunch. I love brunch. I want to brunch everywhere I go. I brunch to there without hesitation. So that is something that is a priority to me. I've heard of people going on vacations with other people, not saying any names, but I've heard of people going on vacations with other people and not being able to do things that they wanted to do because maybe it's a group of people and you guys voted or whatever have you. I didn't want to have that issue, and I didn't have that issue at all. Even the person that I met up with there that was a friend of a friend that I knew from Instagram that I had never personally met face to face, they have their whole life, like, they live there, so they weren't like, oh, we need to hang out, we need to do this. Like, it wasn't really that kind of party. Like, it was like, okay, I'm free, like, let's link up. Okay, you want to go here, like, let's link up. I definitely went to some coffee shops. The tea was delicious, natural, you know, from the ground, from the root. Amazing. But I did do things on my own. If anyone knows me, I'm crazy independent, so that freedom, I'm about it across the board. I recommend it to anyone. Obviously, if you travel, like, don't say like, oh, I'm gonna travel to the backwoods of Colombia and I speak no Spanish and it's wildly treacherous and like I'm just risking it all. Like, be sensible. Like, at no point did I feel I was in danger. One day I took an 1.5 hour long walk by myself. At no point did I feel like, oh my God, someone's watching me, someone's on top of me. That was not an issue that I ever felt at any time. At any time, not in my hotel room, not, my hotel was a block from the train. So I was very central to everything. Not only in a tourist situation, but there was like a corporate center. My hotel, I stayed at the Cubic in Amsterdam. It's attached to their World Trade Center. So it was central to everything. There was food around me. There was Starbucks down the street from my hotel. My hotel had food. They had breakfast. They had everything. Like, it was a really great experience for me. I'm not saying that everyone's experience. I'm not saying like Amsterdam is so amazing, I want to live there. That's not what I'm saying. But I really did have a good time. It was really refreshing to have time to myself, to clear my head. It was actually the tail end of my unemployment, and I was like, okay, I need to get back in the swing of things. So this is going to be like a late birthday gift and using the last of my unemployment for something that didn't suck. Not to say that I use all my unemployment for things that sucked, but you know, this is like not a bill. This was kind of a treat myself thing. I also turned 30 in October, so this was like a really nice gift to give myself. Thanks, me. You're the best. If you guys have any questions about anything, definitely you can message me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Trophy Wife Liz. Obviously, like my handle here. Same thing with my Twitter, also Trophy Wife Liz. Any questions, you can just DM me or message me. If you are like wondering about traveling, obviously I'm not like a traveling connoisseur, but if you have any questions and I have any advice that I can give you, I'm probably going to tell you to go, but just be mindful. Like, I feel more dangerous, like I'm going to be in more dangerous situations at home than I did there. So it's all about how you feel. I've lived alone for a long time. I've traveled to other states alone, traveled public transportation, places I wasn't familiar with, numerous occasions. So I felt very comfortable doing it, and you might not feel as comfortable, but I had a blast. If you have any questions, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to sponsor me on a trip, I'm about it, whether it be at a hotel, in another country, anything. Like, I am all about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Look, I made another video, guys. It only took me like literally almost a year. Yeah, okay, bye.